The T in T is for our testimony. In August of next year, it will make 7 years together. 2018.
Yeah, right at 7.
That's crazy. 7 years together for my husband and I. And this year happens to be, I would say, definitely the most challenging for us by a long shot. Because we are social media influencers, I feel like that is a huge contribution to how many issues that we had within our home. And it's kind of crazy how, you know, the internet can literally transfer into our real life and cause havoc on our marriage and havoc on our home.
Well, because you are bringing more people into your marriage, more opinions, more outside entities almost.
Yes. And my marriage is between the Most High, my husband, and I. My marriage is not a social construct. My marriage is not a social project. It's between God, my husband, and I. But it feels that it kind of became that way, and I feel like when we kind of maybe allowed it accidentally, then it definitely, you know, a wildfire effect. Just
yeah, it wasn't ever a contract. It's a commitment we made between two imperfect people. You know, me and Rose both. Everybody is imperfect people, and you try to work it out between those two imperfect people, and putting it off and quitting is never an option. It's a bigger problem than trying to work it out with what you're not.
yeah, when we made that commitment to one another with our vows, it's a marriage. We decided that we wanted to be married. We didn't want to be in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship. So when we decided that we were going to put the word marriage on our relationship, that was it for us. There was no getting a divorce, and we promised one another that. So when there's a situation, how are we going to fix this? Because we could either not fix it and live miserably together because we promised that we're going to stay together, or we can fix it and be happy together.
And your commitment to me was to give me a family, and that was the most amazing thing that anybody could ever do for me. And again, overdone, but that's this tattoo, the reason I wrote that on my arm, you know.
It means a lot, yeah.
Just because you've given me something that I couldn't give myself. So you've given me a family, and my job is to make sure that you're happy within this family.
Thank you, baby.
So that would
Thank you. Especially. The devil hates. He absolutely hates the nuclear family. You have to know that. He hates marriage. And so recently, there's been a situation where CPS has been constantly called on us. And I'm trying to figure out, and it's not by anyone close to us. It's by people from the internet. And so I'm sitting here trying to figure out, darn, why are people playing with my children? Why would, like, if you don't like me, that's one thing, but why are you trying so hard to play with my children? And whether that person knows it or not, or the people that do it know it or not, they're just being played like a puppet by the devil. They're just being used by the devil because the devil hates family. He comes to kill, steal, and destroy. He comes to rip children apart from their mothers. He comes to rip husbands apart from their wives, because when a man is not in the household, that is when it's so much easier for the devil to come in and manipulate that household, to cause confusion within that household, to cause feminine men. You know, and so when that man, that masculine presence is there within the home, it's a lot harder for the devil to come in and kind of work on each family member. So he hates marriage. And it really dawned on me, it makes a lot of sense why you're trying so hard to rip my husband apart, and you're like, oh, that didn't work. Okay, you know, speaking of the devil, when I say you, the devil tried to rip my husband apart. It's like, yeah, that's not working. Okay, now we're gonna come for the kids. Oh, if the devil could get his hands on your kids or on any member of your family, then he's got you right where he wants you.
Speaking of not having a man in the house the majority of the time, a hard problem that we also have is in every family too, like the man will go to work for a large chunk of time, and the woman, the wife, will stay with the kids for the majority of the time. And that, it's always funny to say, you know, as a housewife or as a woman at home, all you have to do is sit around with the kids. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I tried to help out with that for a couple of months. I am so happy to be back at work. There's a lot of work to deal with 4 boys in the house, 4 different varying ages, pretty gapped out, honestly, from 9 to
9 months. But like the statistics, you guys know I always speak on statistics. They say that it's equivalent to 3 full-time jobs being a stay-at-home mom.
It's tough, and I leave a lot of that up to her. And then when I come in, I'll try to take off as much as I can from her because I do understand how much it is. Now, me being gone for a large chunk of time does leave that stress there. So when I come in, my wife is already stressed, and if I don't do anything to fix that problem or help or solve, and I don't play video games or anything like that, but if I was just to jump, close the door, play video games, it would make her so upset. Every now and then I'll get on my phone.
No, it would cause such a strain on our marriage.
Yeah.
You have to think about that. Like, he comes in and I'm already exhausted, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed.
I just like, yeah, keep going with what you got.
He can make a decision to be like, your attitude is so bad. Like, it happens in many marriages. Or he can be understanding, you've been through a lot, babe. You're still only 9 months postpartum. We do know statistics say it can take well over a year for a woman to feel back. It typically takes 2 years for a woman to feel herself again after giving birth.
That is something that they say that there is cause confusion. Postpartum, your baby's already walking or whatever.
I think people are confused about that.
Early, but
our
also,
baby's only 9 months old.
Can you imagine, why do you have regular depression? Why do you didn't even have a baby? Why do you have any regular thoughts? Now imagine an actual hormone change. It takes a while for your hormones from changing to regulate.
Especially also when you're a breastfeeding mom, those pregnancy hormones.
About a month ago.
Yeah, those pregnancy hormones linger throughout breastfeeding, and that's a fact that you can actually Google and research yourself. And I just stopped breastfeeding fully about 1 month ago. But on top of the fact, breastfeeding or not, it takes a woman about 2 years to prep herself after having a baby. So although my baby is advanced and he is big, please don't be confused. He's only 9 months old, and I've been not breastfeeding for about 1 month. So that postpartum period is definitely still there. And I feel like a lot of women go through this period, but because there's not enough education or dialogue around it, it's ignored, and it's saddening. But it's mostly women that are like, how long are you going to claim postpartum? I haven't really seen too many men doing that. It's mostly women, and I feel like maybe it's because they have not had that person or that partner to be understanding to their feelings. I'm positive for many of you, when you separated with your partner, it was right around the time after you had your baby. That is the most common time, because we're going through so much and we don't even put a finger at this is what it is. You know, we don't put a finger at the fact that it is postpartum. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy, especially the nuclear home and the nuclear family. He does not want the man in the household, because statistics state that the family as a whole does so much better in marriage. So that is why we definitely always advocated for putting your partner first, because if you don't, those kids will leave in the future and you guys will be confused. You guys won't know each other, you won't like each other, let alone love each other, while they're living their lives with their partner and everything else. But by us being together, our children are much better off. So that's why it's important for me to put him first, because if I don't...
Divorce destroys kids, especially when you spend the majority of your time trying to figure out the divorce. If you're still trying to figure out debates and problems in between the two of you, and you're spending all the money on legalities and
that you could be putting toward your kids or your family.
Yeah, it's not something I agree with, where you decided to do this relationship and commit to it just to, no matter, there's a level, but no matter how hard things get, to where it's like, all right about here is where I'm done.
You don't really get with someone, marry someone in front of multiple other people, become one with someone, create a whole nother life with someone or multiple other lives, just to say, okay, this is boring now, or her attitude is bad, I'm out of here. You know, like how, okay, so now you have to go and find another partner with all of your baggage, and so does she, and then the kids are left confused, and you're a part-time dad or a part-time mom. Who really wants that? Who really wants to deal with that? Not us. So we've made the commitment that we're going to be together no matter what. And although you all know we are high believers of Jesus Christ, we are not the most religious people, but our marriage is definitely ordained by God, and no devil in hell, no fury of fire can tear what is God ordained apart. And so as difficult or challenging as it is, it's very common around 7-year mark that people, it's called the 7-year itch. They kind of separate, and I feel like that's what that was for us. Maybe a year early, but I feel like we got the 7-year itch.
There's a lot of things behind 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. You always say, the completion and stuff. 7 is a big number. I mean, every cell in your body is different.
Changes every 7 years,
well,
which
within
is
7
wild.
years, there's not a single cell that was there that was there before. And obviously,
That's
every
wild.
day I'm going through with you, I'm still with you. I mean, there's a new cell today, but it's since we started and we know we're literally new people.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so I feel like we got that out the way, and I'm very, very excited. If we went through and got through and persevered through what we've just been through in this last 3 months, you guys, I feel like we're on top of the world. Like nothing can rip us apart after that.
I feel like maybe you feel like this is the hardest time. I feel like we had Race's birth and pregnancy through COVID.
Yeah.
That was actually really tough. This
yeah, but that was more tough, like just you couldn't be there because you were trying to, figure finances, and you were working a lot. That was a different type of tough. No, a literal attack by the adversary on your marriage.
We didn't have outside of just the world. The world
just normal challenges that you go through. But do you agree that a literal attack on your family?
Yeah, any sort of outside interference is toughest. If you got a family with other people or being online, this both just can be a tough.
Yeah.
Us deciding to move to a new place on top of that added stress as well.
The devil got really upset when we decided to move to paradise. And it's so funny because the second that we are here, everybody considers this place paradise. Like when we're in the Uber, they're like, welcome to paradise. Remember? Every Uber, everywhere, they're like, welcome to paradise. And it's just like right around that time, the devil's like angry because I guess it's just like we're about to go through something amazing. That's why. And the devil's like, no, absolutely not. I cannot let this happen. And so there will be people, human beings walking this life that are there to cause discord within your family due to their own misery or due to the fact that they cannot figure out their own misery. And it actually does not mean they're a terrible or evil person. And often they won't know that they are working as a puppet for the adversary, but they don't even realize themselves because there's discord within their own lives. And it's a fact, as stated in the Bible, that hurt people are there. They seek to hurt people. And so I feel like the first step to correction in life is admittance. And once people can really dig inside themselves and figure out and see that I'm missing something in my own life, I'm unhappy with something in my own life, and I'm putting it out on someone else, then they can fix that problem within themselves, and maybe they can start to see light at the end of the tunnel within themselves. But as long as they are working as a puppet for the adversary, their own life will never be healed and never be fixed, and they'll never be happy within themselves. But we've all been there before, maybe not to such a large extent, but we've all been unhappy and
even within your relationship.
yeah, and like expelled our unhappiness on someone else, like
your partner. You know, like you could put that energy on your partner. If you guys aren't communicating, if you aren't communicating in your relationship to where you guys don't know what the problems are, say your partner could be unhappy and put that onto you when they see you. Or
yeah, like a great example is me being home all day with the kids. I am, oh my goodness, touched out, tapped out, overwhelmed. And then my husband comes and he touches me. He just touches me. Can I have a kiss? And I'm like, just don't touch me, you know? And it's not him or anything he did, but it's me expelling my problems onto him. And that's just what we tend to do as human beings, sometimes in a much larger way, as we've witnessed with people that don't know our family, never met our family, calling CPS on our family and calling our place of living on our family, and just really going above and beyond to destroy and to destruct us and to tear us apart because they're missing something in their own lives.
Yeah, it is interesting to see that type of lifestyle projected into ours.
Yeah,
stuff we can't even control.
Comprehend. But like I said, when we have that understanding of the adversary and how he works and his plan and his goal of destruction, then it makes it easier for us to deal with. But this video was basically to say we persevered and we got through, and we're at a very, very, very renewing place in our marriage and in our lives. And actually we came out stronger. I feel like which usually happens when you're in a battle, you know, if you win, you come out a lot stronger than when you went in there. And we definitely came out with so much lessons.
That's any time you have outside sources in your relationship. You don't share negativity with them because they're also not there for that quiet, intimate, positive conversation that you have, or that healing conversation that you have. I mean, there's anything that could happen. You could work against each other in a certain way during fights, but when you sit here and you guys realize, like, hey, I were aware that what I was doing was wrong, and those conversations that we have, because of whatever emotions or whatever feeling or whatever stubbornness that I had, I couldn't direct my energy into a correct path because I was either being stubborn or emotional or whatever, and it wasn't positive for us. But now that I've calmed down, we have a positive conversation, we talk, okay, there's an understanding. And when you go tell other people only that negative thing during that moment,
it's so blown out of proportion. Brett has a super close relationship with his mother. When we get into conflicts, he's not going to call his mother and start talking about me. And I just bring that up because I know so many people have a distressed or a bad relationship with their in-laws due to this. And I feel like because he does not do that, I can have such a great relationship with my in-laws. There was a point in our marriage where in the beginning he was talking to his mom more, and I was not liking his mom, but now we're literally like this because we learned that. And that's what marriage is constant growth, constant learning, constant what's the word? It starts with a C. Compromising. It's constant compromising, constant growth, constant reflection of the self. And so when you add other people, like Brett and I can get in an argument. It's like I'm a Sagittarius. My fire blows like a dragon. Whoosh. I say the most evil things and then I can breathe. And after that fire blows, I'm good. And he has that understanding of me. And so now we're back good, but everybody else, they don't have that understanding. So now everybody's looking at and picking it apart and, putting their projection or their thoughts or opinions of what we should do into our marriage.
Yeah, there's something I do with my two main best friends. I do not mention the problems I have with Rose, and they don't have a negative output. My best man at my wedding, I never mention anything to her. So whenever we talk or whatever we got going on, she has only positive outlook on Rose. Unfortunately, my other best friend, when me and Rose were first dating, I didn't have that commitment to her. So I would say negative stuff and whatnot. But as the relationship developed, I stopped mentioning and stopped bringing that in because I had to correct that.
You got to be very wary of who you talk crap about your partner to, because 9 times out of 10 you and your partner are going to stay together, and then you're going to taunt that relationship with the person that you were just trying to vent to, or that person is going to expel their opinions on you and make you see your partner in a different way and ruin something good.
They're going to keep you in that attitude.
Yeah.
Because they remember that last fight.
Yeah, and so they always...
You start talking, there's their boy right there. But when you start talking to them again, they're going to be like, have that negative advice, that negative energy, and they're going to just keep you in that attitude. Like, oh, I thought I was done with all that, but no, I'm mad about that again. Or, oh yeah, you're right. You know, because they weren't there for, again, the moment of forgiveness.
Being on the internet definitely makes a small thing much larger. And so you'll see a lot of T channels, but the T in T is for our testimony, and it will always be the devil has never, and he never will, like marriage, and we're aware of that.
Yeah, this is my commitment, this is my family, and it's unbreakable. And if whatever reason I do fail at that, to where we do break up, that's going to be my failure, and I'm not going to allow that to happen. So me, my wife, and my family are going to have a long life together. Forever is a long time. There's going to be a lot of arguments, a lot of commitment and making up that we're going to be doing along the way. So we've got a whole journey ahead of us, and we're not going to break this up.
Forever is a long time, and if you think that things will not happen within forever, then you're highly mistaken. There will be plenty of forgiving, plenty of, arguments or disagreements, and plenty of coming together.
And we have a lot of living to go through, and there's going to be a lot of life in that point too, to where we're going to have
disagreements. It doesn't matter what relationship you have, whether it's your mother, your sister, your brother, your best friend, everybody, unless you're not real with that person, you're gonna have disagreements with human beings. A lot of people, because we are on the internet, a lot of people talk about arguing in front of your children, how you're not supposed to do that. We do have a counselor, and the counselor, the professional, agrees that it's very healthy for children to see arguments and disagreements. It teaches them how to do the same thing. But what's important is that they see conflict resolution and how you guys come together and can put your pride aside and apologize. And so just if you argue in front of the children, you have to make sure you apologize and you show them healthy resolution as well. Now, this is not to say be toxic, always constantly fighting and yelling and cursing and hooting and hollering or anything in front of a child. There's a big difference, in healthy conflict and healthy amount of arguing, or even a child seeing like a moment where, the mother is going through this seems to be a hard period in time for my mother. Wow, look at how dad is dealing with it. Look at how he's handling it. We are the example for our children. So a lot of times, if there's no man in the house, or if the kid grew up without a father, it will continue that cycle. The boys will be, they will run when things get hard. But if they see their father or their role model example pushing through, pressing through, and showing them how it's done, then it's very likely that they will repeat that example.
Yeah, we are the ones that are going to teach them through our life experience, and they're going to learn from us. So if they have a healthy, positive example of getting back together after an argument,
how to
communicating afterwards, instead of going out there and doing it on their own, to where they only see the negativity, or they don't know how
because society will tell you just leave. And that's what they will do if we don't show them that.
Everybody's great advice, cut it off.
Yeah, everybody, society as a whole, and that is why divorce rate is so high, because society as a whole, they're just leave, so that's, if our children don't see how to have conflict and resolution, and they listen to outside sources, then they're going to be those people, and they're going to have broken families, and our grandchildren are going to have broken homes without a 2-parent household. And so we don't want that. Nobody wants that. It's not healthy. Yeah. We'll have a much better society if we have more marriages and more families and more people willing to stick out the tough times and get through it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a continuous cycle. If not, most people leave for someone else, and then things get hard with someone else, and then they leave for someone else, and things get hard and they leave, and it just repeats itself.
It really isn't better out there starting over, starting fresh, and just redoing the same problems. It's better to learn and fix the problems that you've already had and worked on and grow from that.
Yeah. The T in T is for testimony. You guys are just going through our journey of life with us, and we appreciate you for following along. We have to head to church actually, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, mahalo for watching.